Good evening. We're here on the evening of September 13th, 2022. I want to thank everybody for the kind birthday wishes. All right, we are looking at our view of our sun in 193 angstrom, and we are looking for the pass over the last 48 hours. And we have lots to look at. And we have, here is the outgoing 3101. Our active region 3098, 3100, and 3102 down here incoming. You're going to see lots of active tornadoes all around the limb and edges if you're watching. We've got a lot of activity. We have filaments that erupted here. We've got an incoming coronal hole that is earth facing tonight, and we should be receiving that coronal hole stream Friday and Saturday. We have a constant steady stream of C-class flares that are alternately coming from 31,000, 30 or 90 or 3098 and 3101. So we're kind of right in a valley right now because they're coming from either this region going out and around, and that's going to circle back and graze us, or they're coming from this region and it's going to miss us. But what has taken off here is going to circle back and graze us in the coming or this weekend for Friday and Saturday. And then we have this coronal hole that is just coming earth facing, and that wind will hit us Friday and Saturday. We're just going to have to be a little patient here, and this is going to come around, and I do believe this is going to develop a lot quicker. And I do believe this is going to be a region we want to watch. We don't have much data on this because we've just gotten 1 day's worth of view on it. But it is showing a great potential that it could be a big player as it rotates in. Right here we have a little change in what is predicted. They are predicting that this is going to be a bigger hit. It's just going to come later than they expected. But you can see here how they're predicting that this is going to come around and swirl into us. They're just predicting it's going to hit 2 days later. So it's going to be this weekend that they're predicting this wind is going to hit us, or the plasma is going to hit us. And it's going to hit us about the same time as the wind. And then the wind is staying about the same prediction, taking off about the 17th. And it is going to ramp up and hit us from that coronal hole coming in on the 18th and 19th. But we have some good activity coming towards us in the coming days. So again, we have 3102. This is not too complex. This is massively growing. This has massively grown. And I do want to take a moment, and I'm going to pop over here. I want to show you this slide. And as it starts over here again, let's get it back on track here. There's the slides matched together. You could see how that spot has grown over days. And I'm going to pause it. Whoops. I want to get it up here. Okay, one more. See the complexity that it and I want to stop right here, and I want to look at the complexity. See how the reds, the negative polarities are mixed into the positive polarities. And there is no error or margin in between, that they're so tightly wrapped, and that this is what is causing the flaring. And I think that's worth noting and what you want to watch for when these develop. We have had some flaring from 99. 3190 this is growing. This has grown and it's spreading out. It still is not getting past beta, but it is growing wider and bigger. And it has increased by 7 umbras. So as this comes Earth spacing, it is growing. This has grown in size considerably since we've gotten our first view of it. And I have a feeling this one is going to come around and be quite a player here if it continues to grow the way it is. Both of these have a 20% chance that they're going to increase. So, my next thing I want to talk about real quick is we've had some questions come up in group. Why can't I see auroras with our eyes? A lot of people have gotten frustrated and angry when, you know, they hear it on the news. Oh, wow, there's going to be auroras, and everybody runs north and they can't see anything. And I've sat next to some very disappointed people when they can't see what they expect to see. And I put that on the newscasters that get their hopes up without explaining the difference. So let me explain what you should see and what you will see and why. Let's start with your eyes. Your eyes are made up of 2 different nerve cells. One of them is cones. They see in bright light, in daylight, and they see in full spectrum color. And at night, we see in black and white because there's so much shadow and it's so hard to see. They needed a quicker, our eyes for survival needed to not have so much information so they can make quick decisions at night for survival. It's a survival technique. So we don't see color at night, so we don't have to interpret so much information. So at night, dim light is always in black and white. Even brighter light is, you know, you can stand in a city and even bright light in a city can be kind of washed out. It's not bright colors. And that's because your eyes see in black and white at night. So no matter what anybody tells you, you will never see the auroras like you see them in pictures. You will never see them like you see them in pictures with your eyes. Okay? That doesn't mean you won't see them. So let me explain. What you will see is light. Your eyes can interpret light. And last weekend was a prime example. You could literally see the auroras start. You didn't see color. And if anybody told you they saw color, it was because their brain was interpreting and filling in information. See, our brains are wonderful computers. They are the best supercomputers that were ever built. So your brain is going to fill in information it doesn't have based on experience. This is why aurora photographers are going to tell you, I see color. Well, we don't actually see color. We just know what different shades mean based on experience. So I see color because I know that particular shade of gray means green. And I know that particular shade of gray means blue. And that particular shade of gray is purple, and that particular shade of gray is pink. But they're shades of gray. They aren't actually white. They aren't actually black. They aren't actually color. They're shades of gray. But we could actually see the auroras on set. We could see the light from the pillars. We could see the pillars walk across the sky. When Steve started, we could see the picket fence. We could even see a grayish green hue to the picket fence. It was a grayish white, green. But our eyes were not seeing the brilliant green that they were. So this is what you will see when you go out there. On that particular night, it was a brilliant white cloud on the horizon. And the only reason I knew it was the auroras because I knew that's what should be there. But it was a white cloud. I can't get it to look exactly the way my eyes saw it. It's just not possible. But it was a white cloud. I wasn't even really seeing the pink. I saw the white cloud. And I'm going, no. That should be the auroras. Once I put that on, this was all green and blue, and there was pink pillars, and it was really pretty. This picture, it's gorgeous, right? I had a faint greenish white light here, and this was all white. And the reason I knew it was the auroras, because clouds don't have up and down lights. Not to mention I've shot this site, 50 times, and I know exactly where the aurora should be, but clouds don't have up and down stripes. So I knew I was seeing the auroras. Even though I didn't see colors, I knew because clouds don't have up and down stripes. This night, this green color was a white mist, just a white cloud just above the trees. And it kind of glowed. Looked a little funny. Like a cloud, but not like a cloud. White, but it looked like a cloud, but not a cloud. Once I got my camera on it, then I started seeing the green and the pink and the purple, and yeah, that's the auroras. But I didn't see green or pink with my eyes. This night, anyone want to guess why I knew it was the auroras? Because that was a white glow in the sky. Absolute white glow in the sky. Looked like a cloud. Why did I know it was the auroras? Because clouds don't arc. Clouds don't generally make a perfect arch. So when you see an arch in the sky that looks uniform and it's at the north, then it's typically the auroras. Because clouds don't typically make an arch with a defined bottom. This night, I didn't see, I just saw a faint glow right here. And I might saw a little bit of green, greenish white. It was funny. It was white, maybe a grayish green tint to it. And once I got this up and got my camera on it, then I started seeing the pillars and I could see more light and I could see what was there. It was really difficult that night to get much of anything visually. Really wasn't getting the full picture. This night, however, leaving Pellston Airport, driving toward Mackinac, looked up in the sky and I went, oh, wow. Wait a minute. That's a funny looking cloud. Wait a minute. That has a perfect arch to it. That's not a cloud. And the more I looked at it, the more it kind of had a funny white off-color grayish green hue to it. And it didn't look white, didn't look gray, it didn't look green, but it looks like somewhere in between all of them. And it glowed. That's how I knew it was a KP7 aurora. And it was way high in the sky. It was definitely the auroras. because it was an arch. This night, and this one was particularly important, and I'm going to call attention to it. It was really bright. This was a KP 8 or 9. It was extremely bright to where we were starting to see color because it was that bright. We did see a little pink and we did see a little green, but what was the shock was this right here. And this was pure white. When you see blue at night, it will be shocking white. It will be the most white thing you see anywhere. It will wash out all the other colors and be brighter than anything else. And that's how you know you're seeing blue. It is going to be a shocking white color, and it is the brightest thing you'll see in this out of all the other colors. This night, we were out somewhere we had special permission to be. Not everybody gets to go here, but we had special permission to be here. And this night was a KP 8 or 9, I believe. And we had been photographing the auroras, and they were beautiful greens, pinks, purples. And I ran back to the car to get some gloves because it was bitterly cold. And all of a sudden, there was this big white, and I mean white, shocking burst of light in the sky. And it looked like those old Hollywood lights, you know, like the bomb lights that they used to use to spot bombers. They used them on Hollywood for those openings for movie stars. They light up the night with those big spotlights. This is what it looked like, those brilliant white spotlights searching the sky. And it was brilliant. And when I put my camera on it, it was the deepest blue light you see here. Those were to your eyes, the most shocking white. Put them on here, and they're the deepest, richest blues you'll ever see. Beautiful. This night, beautiful night. I could see a little bit of green. This night, I was about 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd been sick. Alarm went off. Let me know there was auroras out there. I hauled myself out, hung my camera out the window. I was praying I didn't get sick. And I think I was the only one out there that night for a KP 7. I think we had a KP 8 by the end of the night and shot for hours. And this was white, very white. I could see a faint green hue at the bottom, and then it was shocking white. And the pillars just danced. It was like lines of white and dark. And you could flip this black and white, and where you could see the darker lines, it was black. And where you could see the light parts, it was shocking white. And it was just dancing. But this is how you know you're seeing the auroras. Your eyes will see red before any other color in the when lights get brighter. So your eyes will see a red aurora before it sees any other color in the spectrum. So red auroras are super rare, but you will see red auroras occasionally. And that you might get to see with your eyes. And that's often why we see the pink before we see any other color. Now, this was just, the end of August or in July sometime here, not too long ago. And this is what my camera saw. This is what I saw with my eyes. The only reason I knew the auroras were there is this faint glow here, and I could see up in here, there was something glowing. I didn't see color. My head, my brain said, oh, that's green. Because I know that's where the green would be. So I could see that it was a white green, not a purple green. But my brain was filling in the color. My brain was assigning that whitish gray color an official color. It wasn't because my eyes saw that specific color. It was because my brain was filling in information based on years and years and years of experience. So when somebody says, oh yeah, I saw color, ask them how long they've been at it. Because likely their information is being filled in. Because our eyes are still the same, work the same way. We still only see black and white because we only have a split second at night to interpret information, to make split second decisions between all the different shadows at night to save our lives. Going back to primal instinct, survival instinct. If you're out there at night and you're out there in the wild and you have lots of things that can kill you, your brain can't be distracted with lots of different colors. They have to process only the most important information. That's why our eyes developed to only see black and white, to only interpret the most important information like light, shadows, and movement at night. So when you're out there watching the auroras, that's the skills you're looking to count on. You're looking to interpret the light you see and the way it moves and how it's shaped. And that's how you'll know you saw the auroras. Okay, everyone, have a good night.